You know, I've actually been looking forward to Harry Potter and the new TV series coming from HBO. It's an opportunity to revitalize the brand as if it needed any revitalization. It is, in fact, one of the largest theme park properties in the world, if not the largest theme park property in the world. But now it seems like, as this is a Universal property, it's actually Warner Brothers, but I'm speaking of Universal in the universal sense of the word. It sounds like HBO is going to make some changes to the casting that might not be faithful to the original work. A lot of people have some concerns about where HBO is going. Let's talk about that on That Park Place. What's
Oh,
the biggest theme park property out there? There are multiple answers to this. Only one of them is correct. But there's a debate here about what is the most important theme park property in the world right now.
Harry Potter.
Yeah, you're right. Let's talk about Papa
oh,
Isidue, however you pronounce that name right there. The British I May Destroy You actor is being eyed for a fan favorite role in the eagerly anticipated fantasy series. It looks like he's being circled. This says he's offered the role of Severus Snape in HBO's Harry Potter TV show. It says exclusive, but we're going to be talking about it here anyways. This is by Boris Kitt and James Hibbard. There he is, just like you would describe Severus Snape, in the books. He's a sallow-skinned, greasy-haired guy. For those of you who don't know what sallow
with
means,
a
it's
with a
uh,
hooked nose.
yeah, with a hook nose. And this is I'd say this is above average looking black guy for those of you who just happen to be listening only. Sectum sempra, which what do you mean by that phrase right there? That's a curse you use on enemies, according to Severus Snape. HBO is circling British actor Papa Isidue to play one of the hottest TV roles being cast this year. Hottest TV roles. That already makes me very uncomfortable with whatever HBO is going for here. The I May Destroy You actor is up for the role of Professor Severus Snape in HBO's Harry Potter TV series, multiple sources tell The Hollywood Reporter. Sources say the actor has been offered the part, although it is not clear if negotiations have begun in earnest. Snape is the wickedly smart and casually cruel Hogwarts potions master who comes across as the story's primary antagonist in the show's first season, which will be based upon author J.K. Rowling's 1997 debut novel, Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. Get it right, Hollywood Reporter. Come on here. Come on. Okay. We could talk about all the details at the bottom of this. There's nothing official out right now. They do mention that Mark Rylance is close to being signed for the role of Albus Dumbledore. There are other aspects of this guy's career that they could talk about here, but they do describe it as a faithful adaptation of the beloved Harry Potter book series
Nope.
by J.K. Rowling. Okay, I'm going to say something that is going to clear this right up for all of the haters out there, all the people who don't want to give something. Give us the benefit of the doubt here. It's not that he's black; it's that Severus Snape is white. That is the only issue that I have with this right now. There's a couple of photos out there that have this guy in some things that remind me of Shudigawa, the guy that is currently playing Doctor Who over there. So I'm going to say this does not give me a lot of confidence in their ability to actually do a faithful adaptation of the book series. This says they want to modernize it. This says that they want to do their own take on it, which lessens my interest in the series significantly. Guys, what do you think?
Oh, I would absolutely agree with you. Are we also going to be getting a Black Hermione?
We could. They did put a Black Hermione in Harry Potter and the Cursed Child in the
Right.
first West End production of that. I don't know if they continued that when they did it in the United States over on Broadway. I kind of stopped following it after that. I will say Harry Potter and the Cursed Child plays like if they did a Back to the Future 2 of the entire Harry Potter series. It's not J.K. Rowling's best work.
Hmm.
And the
Yeah.
book reads like a screenplay because that's what it is. It is a screenplay. So, um, this to me, I kind of they would find any opportunity to recast that they could, and J.K. Rowling was famously in support of Black Hermione back in the day because she said that the only notation in the text about Hermione's appearance was about her hair being kinky and her teeth being buck teeth, which buck teeth that's not a racial thing. So she's supposed to be an ugly duckling type. Severus Snape also. Here's the other thing that I really don't trust them about this. If they're specifically going for actors that they're recasting based off of their ethnicity and their skin color, I don't trust them to keep that out of the series. There are no racial dynamics in the Harry Potter series that translate into Western civilization right here. It's not like J.K. Rowling. Sorry, it's not like J.R.R. Tolkien, where there are, there are other races in this that they are prejudiced against. Well, because those races are trying to kill them. This is a thing where if you translate Severus Snape being the nerdy, is he a mudblood in the series as well? Like
No, but
if they make
Hermione is.
Hermione is. So if they make Hermione black and then they go after her for having tainted blood and lesser parentage, that adds a whole other dynamic here,
Yeah.
which I
Ooh.
can see Hollywood screenwriters saying, "Ooh, we need to make a comment about today." This is the thing. They don't want to work in allegory. And if they do work in allegory, they don't want to work in a way that anyone could miss it for something else. There are themes in the Harry Potter books that are very specifically fighting against prejudice and against judging people based on outward characteristics without making it about race. So you're taking away the thing that makes it universal if they choose to go a route where James Potter is the cool kid at school and he's picking on Severus Snape, uh, unless they make James Potter black and therefore Harry Potter black, which is that's a direction that I guess is within the realm of possibility now. I just don't understand why Hollywood doesn't seem to have learned this lesson that they need to be assuring the fans that they're not going to be destroying this property and already recasting one of the primary characters who we actually know what he looks like. Sure, he doesn't have a beard in the movies like he does in the books, but if you're already saying they're going to be toying with whatever the actual details of the plot are, whatever the actual details of the character are, they need to do it for good reasons. And I don't think their good reasons are going to be anything other than the message. Who knows? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this guy is amazing and he'll be cast in the role, and we will all be looking like fools because he's so amazing or something like that. I actually wouldn't mind a black Dumbledore. I would still look at them a little weird for making a character that J.K. Rowling has made gay into the only black character at Hogwarts. Sorry, the only black main character here. Also, there are, of course, Kingsley Shacklebolt. I think is it Lee Jordan. There are members of
Lee
the
Jordan.
Hogwarts family
Yeah.
here in Ministry of Magic that are black. This to me, it lowers my expectations for the Harry Potter series because it looks like they're doing stunt casting, and that's annoying. It was like when they did a show called the 10th Kingdom back in the day, and they cast a princess character in a role that didn't have it going on in the traditional sense of the word. It's against my gentlemanly code to insult a woman's appearance, but I think you can all understand what I'm saying when they try to cast someone as the fairest one of all, and they don't go for someone who is, in fact, good looking in the traditional sense of the word. This to me just takes me out of it because it reeks of the message. I've talked for too long. What do you guys think?
I have a compromise here. Here we go.
There you go. What are you going to be?
No.
What are you going to be prejudiced against him because he's not British? That's xenophobic.
There you go. That's the one right there. Culture, I believe you had something to say about all of those.
Yeah, I'm done already. I'm done with the show. This is all it took. We're going to make a faithful adaptation. Well, you start off loading us full of bologna sausage, and if more of this happens, like I said, it's going to be more and more off-putting. They're going to mess with the plot. That's not faithful. All of this is faithless. Faithless. We have a very detailed description of what Snape looks like. We already know what Harry looks like. We have a good idea what all the Weasleys look like. You know, there's a lot of problems with the faithful idea The minute you start doing this kind of thing, and maybe he's great, maybe he's an incredible actor. He is not Snape.
Yeah.
I'm sick and tired of this. Warner Brothers, you're doing dumb things, and I promise you'll pay for it because it's really easy for me to get rid of Max. It's really easy for me to not consume any of your material again. And this for me, this would be the final straw.
That's
The
very true.
Warner Brothers would lose me. And again, it's not. It doesn't. I don't care that the guy is black. I care that he's being cast for a character who is 100% not. As you mentioned, you said it a little more cleanly than I did. But
What, that it's not that he's black, is that Snape is white.
yeah, and I look. I am the voice of the audience at large, not the super tiny little minority of slivering, squealing for representation. That is not me. You
Yeah.
know, it's like there are times and places, there are stories that are told where you aren't going to have diversity. I mean, you're not going to have a bunch of people in a Chinese story that are black or Hispanic. That isn't going to happen. If we go back in time, or if we go within the mythology of it all, this is a well-established universe. And despite the fact that they've muddled around with it on Broadway and the West End, especially since they're tasteless at this point, anything they put there is up for grabs and very destructive. Um, I'm just done. And I think that the audience at large is done with this. And I
Mhm.
think we just recently in this country had something called an election. Now you're gonna have a little sting up here. Um, anyway,
Thank you for that.
you're
Cancel
welcome.
culture.
Now, well, you had it already on a video that you released today. It popped up. But anyway, the whole thing is that the results of that election, which again, there it'll be up there. Also down at the bottom now too. But the results of that election told you the sentiment of this country at large from a incredibly diverse field of humanity that represent all of these other races that you're worried about. So go about making this the proper way, or remove faithful adaptation from your description. Either way, you've now created a divisiveness of a story that should have no divide because
Yeah.
it is a proper story. Anyway, I'm done.
No, there is one sliver of hope here. If this happens to be something that was leaked by an agent, then this is just someone openly campaigning. Well, not openly campaigning, quietly campaigning for the role. And I get that if some agent is just trying to make his cut here. King of the Monsters 1954 for 199. I want an Asian male bodybuilder to play Hermione.
Please.
I want Godzilla to play Hermione.
I've seen a lot of fan casting for Hermione. It's quite fascinating.
Yeah.
Um, again, I mean, if you're gonna try to do something with one of the main characters, the main three, I think that would be the only place you could do it. And
Yeah, I'm of two minds about it. Obviously, Harry Potter being an orphan and being black, that causes a bit of an issue because you could it's the fact that there's so many tight families in this that you end up recasting a lot of characters based off of race. So if it's the Weasleys, you've made the only incredibly poor family in the Harry Potter universe. You've made them the black family,
it,
so
it,
that
it,
becomes
cre-
a problem.
it does. It creates a ton of problems you don't need. For this show doesn't need to suffer under the weight of modernity.
Right.
It
If
was
you
it was well written. It has diversity in the story. They should take as a guide the original films, because that's what. Here's the problem: audiences expect familiarity, and every time you ditch out on that, every time you change something, you make it less palatable to a group of people who have very well set 7 movies, 8 movies worth of film set in their mind. They don't want to see something different. They want to see something more.
yeah.
They want
Um,
an expansion of these stories. Sorry, Jonas. I just
Greg Kirby puts it well. No, not replacing the gingers for black people. I didn't even think about that, but of course, the Weasleys and their all of them having a shock of red hair. Yes. King of the Monsters, 1954 for $4.99.
Makes
There's been
sense.
too many race and gender swaps for any of this to even be appealing at this point. Even if his acting is great, it doesn't justify it. I think there's also the fact that this show is going to go on for 7 to 8 seasons, depending on how long they take to go through all of these
Dude,
books. So
Goblet
they
of Fire could be 2 years.
yeah, the main issue that I see here is there is someone who wants diverse casting throughout the entire series, and they want to make sure that this isn't a hit without diversity. So this to me, it smacks of message thinking, and I don't like that. That's kind of off-putting to the audience.
So they want it to be a failure with messaging.
That's right. That's right.
Well,
They don't think that the messaging is the failure.
Wrong. They're so wrong.
Mm.
You just, again, I'm going to point to the results of November 5th and say, you're wrong.
Thanks for watching That Park Plays News. For more information, consider checking out www.thatparkplace.com. And don't forget to subscribe, share, like, and send this out on your favorite social media account.